Another big day for us here at the top men's volleyball league in the country. Now, every game is a must-watch as everyone has their eyes on the prize. That is the top of the standings here where power meets passion. Welcome to the Spikers Turf.
Welcome to the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig for the continuation of the 2024 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. The games will resume today after a couple of days of rest as we take a look at some of the teams and players entering the venue, getting set. It will be CHICHI, DHTSI, Titans going up against SAVOUGE, Aesthetic Spin Doctors, Hero Austria, Toto De Pedro, all set for their matchup today as it happens right now at 4 p.m. and then later on we have VNS versus the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Good day to all our viewers. Thank you for watching us on Signal TV on Pilipinas Live. CHICHI DHTSI versus SAVOUGE Aesthetic Spin Doctors. Two teams on the opposite sides of the spectrum right now, and itong SAVOUGE are coming off a huge win against Signal. This time, CHICHI naman trying to still develop their chemistry with their second conference in the Spikers Turf.
Of course, it's a tough assignment today as they want to at least try and snatch their first win. They're going up against one undefeated squad. As we look at the team standings here, there are three teams that remain undefeated. Nandiyan yung FU, SAVOUGE, DLSU, and you did mention that CHICHI is still looking for its first win currently, though it is quite unfortunate that they are at the bottom with a 0-5 win-loss record.
I say second conference because previously they were the Richmark Sports, but this is their first conference as CHICHI DHTSI. So we saw the standings 0-5 right now. Their previous game against De La Salle Eco Oil Green Oilers just last weekend ended in straight sets, and it was a total domination by the Green Oilers.
That's right. They did get to play everyone in their lineup last Sunday and quickly took the victory in easy straight sets against CHICHI. And I think here in this match, most of CHICHI's points have really come off the opponent's errors, as we see here in the stats. Overall here in this conference, they've recorded a total of 315 points, but sadly, almost half of those coming off opponent errors.
So there's a lot to be fixed on the side of CHICHI. They've only won 3 total sets in their 5 matches, so a lot of work left to be done for the players in white. And the leading role for Jonathan Sorio continues. He's been the main man. He's got experience having played in the Spikers Turf before, and you expect him to always lead CHICHI whenever they play on the court.
Well, in that last match against DLSU, Sorio scored 6 points. So that's coming from 3 attacks, 2 blocks, and 1 ace. I feel that they will be needing more of this today, but maybe later I will talk about the lineup that they have currently, because there will be some additional challenge for this squad.
So maybe rest of the guys for CHICHI will step up in the plate for their squad today. Let's talk about the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. What a win against the Signal HD Spikers. You know, Signal, they are billed to be one of the favorites, the contenders in the championship, but SAVOUGE surprising everyone last October 25.
That's right. The Spin Doctors definitely capitalized on every Signal mistake during this match. They did match up quite well with Signal in this game. Signal took the first set, but the second set we see how SAVOUGE really stretched that to 27, and then from yung bawi nitong Signal in set number 3, I think SAVOUGE just really played on point for sets number 4 and number 5.
So they played inspired volleyball in that game against Signal. This man right here, Caritativo, was the player of the game, played a huge role in that upset against the HD Spikers.
You know, this major spark is exactly what they need, because we did see in the stats earlier how close that game was. They needed someone to really lift their spirit, someone who would consistently score for the team, and Caritativo luckily did just that in their last game against Signal. 19 points, all coming from his offense. So great conversion of points. That's about a little over 50% conversion in terms of attacks.
So aside from Shawi, there's a lot of weapons on the side of the Spin Doctors. We're looking forward to seeing them in this action today as we send this to our courtside reporter, Ayana Perlas, to bring in our Pilipinas Live question of the game. Go ahead, Ayana.
Thank you so much, Dippin. And like what I mentioned earlier, every game is a must-watch, and we love hearing from our watchers online, most especially on the Pilipinas Live app. If you guys haven't downloaded the app yet, don't forget to download it on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Now, for those of you who are watching on the Pilipinas Live app, we have our question right below your streams. Which outside hitter will top the scoring charts? Now, don't forget to vote, and also you can join the conversation online by using the hashtag #SpikerSturf2024, and follow us as well on SpikerSturf, that is on Facebook and Instagram, to stay updated on your favorite teams and the next games to come. Now let's turn it over to our venue announcer for the starting lineups.
Presenting our national officials of this match. First referee, Mr. Ryan Vincent Corpus. Second referee, Mr. Patrick Alan Castillo. Now let us meet the starters. First, for CHICHI Brotherhood Titans. Let's start with their team captain at number 11, Jonas Lopez. At number 3, Matthew Miguel. Jersey number 10, Barry Roldan. At number 12, Ju Yoron. Jersey number 16, Raf Del Pilar. At number 19, J.M. Lin. Their starting libero is number 25, Carlo De La Cruz, with their head coach, Mr. Obed Javier. Introducing the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. Let's call on number 2, Senoron Lauren. Wearing jersey number 3, Charlie Magpayo. At number 4, Gil Torres. Jersey number 9, Renzo Antonio. At number 11, JC Narciso. Number 14, Marvin Romero. Starting libero is number 5, Rico Marmeto, with their head coach, Sidney Calderon. This is match number 15 between CHICHI Brotherhood Titans and SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. SpikerSturf Invitational Conference, where power meets passion.
Let's check out the starters for CHICHI DHTSI. And one player noticeably not in their lineup is Jonathan Sorio. We'll probably get an update later on why he's not in the starting lineup. Meanwhile, for SAVOUGE Spin Doctors, Torres, Romero, Narciso, Senoron, Antonio, Magpayo, and Marmeto will be the starters. For the players in their black shirts, black jerseys. So we once again welcome you to our coverage here on Pilipinas Live and on One Sports Plus. Set number 1. About to start here inside the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig for our first of this Wednesday doubleheader. That was a good check by CHICHI. So does Torres, delaying that ball, the push. First point goes to CHICHI with that violation from Torres.
I think the key for CHICHI here at the start of this first set is to ensure that they keep in pace. Same yung speed ng paglalaro, yung balik ng bola, those are the things that they need to be very conscious of.
And that's back-to-back errors for the Spin Doctors. So a good start for CHICHI here, up by 2.
Some free points to start set number 1. Next task actually would be for them to actually score the points. Make sure that they have control, but they send that to the net.
And those are things that CHICHI has to avoid, those unforced errors, if they want to have a shot against this undefeated SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. You have to play perfectly, almost. Good serve. Roldan will set up the play. That is short. Sent back. And a point for SAVOUGE to quickly tie this up at 2-all.
And for CHICHI, if you're seeing that SAVOUGE, an undefeated team, is starting off a bit slow, that's something you'd like to capitalize on. But I think easier said than done.
Yeah.
Ano? Kasi when you start a match, sometimes, you know, both teams still getting a feel of themselves on the court.
I'm sure, though, SAVOUGE won't take this lightly, despite the difference in record. On the other hand, CHICHI might be playing more motivated if you're going up against an undefeated team like the Spin Doctors.
In this case, the mindset would be you've got nothing to lose, right? You just really need to ensure you play very well. And right now, some breaks of the game, itong mga net violation errors happening on the side of SAVOUGE.
Siyempre, motivation. Yung gusto mo, ikaw yung makauna eh.
Oh.
Nice attack there. Powerful hit from Senyoron. You see the effort of CHICHI there in their defense. That time around going down the line. So an exchange of points brings us to a 3-all scoreline. That is a service ace.
Loving that. Really clean. Good spot where that serve landed.
That was Marvin Romero with a point. A lot of players on the pool of SAVOUGE Spin Doctor. So you'd expect yung iba dyan hindi naglalaro the previous game. Sinashuffle nila. Romero making the most out of his 10th year. Back-to-back aces to put SAVOUGE up by 2.
Now some adjustment, I think, needs to be made on the positioning of the receivers of CHICHI.
Oh, that time it's long. Nabate.
Oo, nabate. Luckily, an error. But again, this is what we are seeing so far at the beginning of this first set. The points being scored by CHICHI galing talaga sa errors ng SAVOUGE. And I think at this point, they need to be able to create those points.
Armeto will pump it to Antonio. That goes through. So a couple of clean hits from the Spin Doctors. One from Senyoron and then Antonio. Well, you're right. All of the points from CHICHI coming from the errors. Torres, part of the Signal HD Spikers last open conference. Defeated his former team 2 weeks ago. And another point for SAVOUGE to put them up by 3.
So far, nothing fancy. No fancy plays yet on the side of SAVOUGE. They're just making sure they get efficient plays.
Another good serve. Lopez did not see action last game for CHICHI. That's the first attack point. A courtesy of Yorong.
You know, if you look at the lineup right now, no, the taller team would be SAVOUGE. There would be, may isa-isang players on the other side who has the height, but they need to be able to maximize that at the net for blocking.
But they haven't done that yet so far as SAVOUGE is up by 3. And we get to the first technical timeout.
Welcome back to the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference 2024, where power meets passion. Now, Dip and Ann, earlier you guys were talking about one key player of the CHICHI Titans who will not be seeing action, and that is Jonathan Sorio, because he is actually taking his examinations for school today. Now, of course, para kay head coach Robert Javier, student muna siya, bago athlete. Kaya ang ginawa ni coach was to have his senior Rene Lopez start today for the first time. And ang sabi sa akin ni Lopez, he has been waiting for his time to start. He will be taking advantage of this, and hopefully he will be able to turn things around for his team in today's match. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ayana, for that report. Well, there's the update on Sorio. The reason why is that merong exam. So some of these players are still student athletes. which is good that they're prioritizing their academics. But for CHICHI, they have other players that they can rely on. Meanwhile, Antonio with 2 attack points. And the lead up to 4.
Right now, pure dominance when it comes to offense here for SAVOUGE. And what we're seeing also, it's becoming quite easy for them to score the points. Dahil yung blocking din ng CHICHI hindi makasabay with the attackers.
And the hesitation there from the aforementioned Lopez, which Ayana reported about just earlier. Wasn't able to get that ball. So a 5-point lead for the Spin Doctors. Timeout, CHICHI.
Ngayon, papasa ka pa talaga. Kung re-receive ka, umatras ka rin. Matthew, pag umatras si Yorong, wag mo siyang ulahan dito. Atras ka rin, ha? Start muna tayo sa pasa. Tapos tiwala tayo sa atake natin, ha? So, sige.
Dahan-dahan lang. Ano, F, lagyan nyo na ng ating gitna pati mo. Go, bawe! Chichi!
Timeout called by CHICHI DHTSI as they find themselves behind by 5 points early on in this match. This time a better first ball. Del Pilar had to use his offhand. The quick for Magpayo picked up. Play continues. The dive and the save. Back row hit. That's another point for the Spin Doctors, and the lead is now up to 6.
Offense has been a struggle here at the start for CHICHI.
That's a good diving save a while ago by Jack Enon. What you like about SAVOUGE also, halos yung starting lineup nila against Signal, as we see that nice 1-2 play coming from Roldan. Hindi nila minamalit. It's the same lineup.
Yes, that's true. And that's how it should be also. And then actually what we've observed here, usually change up yan in the next set. But that last point from CHICHI, ito yung sinasabi natin, they need to be able to create these moments where they will score the point. Sabi siguro ng kanilang setter, hindi kayo makapuntos, ako na lang.
What a play there as Magpayo had to do a double take.
Look at that. Leaving the blockers off timing.
Spin Doctors up by 6. Oh, and 3 white shirts. A miscommunication there. No one really went for the ball. They were in position.
Well, it's like they went, but nobody tried to keep it alive. Look at that.
Nagkahiyaan
sila. It's a classic case of just saying mine.
Yeah. 13 serving 6 here in set 1. Antonio with a couple of attack points as he continues to serve here. It's a sharp serve. Roldan waits for the ball. Nalunod si Del Pilar. Able to send it over. The bump to Senyoron. And down it goes for Senyoron. No, he and Antonio doing the damage.
Everyone really getting into the action here on the side of SAVOUGE. Front line, back line.
8-point lead now. Biggest of the game so far. Another attack, or service error rather. Oh, CHICHI getting lucky with these unforced errors.
I think the thing with SAVOUGE is that they're trying to make sure that even their serves would really break the play of CHICHI. Lahat strong serve.
They go middle again to Magpayo. The connection working with Narciso as the setter.
This we have to give credit to the good first ball that they've been getting. So they're able to set up these fast plays.
Over-received. Easy point for the Spin Doctors, who are cruising here as they send us to the second technical timeout.
Ed Sheeran, Shape of You. Ay, hindi. I'm in love with the shape. Pantropiko, by Beanie. Beanie Langgo. Oh. Na na, na 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 na. Hindi ako kumakanta eh, promise. Shot na lang.
Back inside the Phil Sports Arena, Toto De Pedro, hindi lang volleyball player, no? Singer din pala.
Parang na-enjoy naman niya. Diba sabi, hindi talaga siya pero parang na-enjoy niya eh.
He will be watching from the sidelines today, but I'm sure just as fun when your teammates are playing this well and are up big. Lopez tried to make do with that.
Well, there is no touch.
Yeah, overruled by the first referee. Parang gusto pa ata mag-challenge.
Oh, but the players clarified it. All good.
10-point game. Roldan chooses Lopez. Picked up by Antonio. To the middle, they go. Torres unable to connect.
He was already facing that angle. Dun pa niya dinirect yung kanyang palo. So nowhere for it to go but out.
Short serve. And Narciso goes back row to Antonio. Good intention, but just too strong. And back-to-back points for CHICHI DHTSI.
These errors here on the side of the Spin Doctors keeping CHICHI alive.
Oh, solid hit coming from Romero. Showed us his serving skills a while ago, this time attacking for the Spin Doctors. And Narciso serves. Go to Lopez again. Picked up by Narciso. Enon back sets the libero. Going back to Romero.
He is loving that point off the block.
(19 to 9). Off the block, Miguel will score. Put them up to double-digit scoring at 10. A change here as Salazar will replace Yorong. Oh, Torres. That was a good save. Coming from De La Cruz. But not that time.
We're seeing excellent net defense right here for the Spin Doctors.
Romero back at the service line as he hears from his teammates behind the bench. That's what you like. Yung mga wala nga sa... Ayun na naman,
Na-excite ng konti, oh. Nabate. Kaya yung sinasabi natin, huwag babatiin.
Na mali ng target, si Senyoron.
Sabi niya, tinitingnan ko lang kung gising ka o hindi. Mukhang gising na gising naman. No, but kidding aside, he did deliver some points earlier no at the service line. So kita natin talaga kargado lahat ng serves galing dito sa Spin Doctors.
Antonio down the line. It's into the stands. Lead back up to 10 points. Savouge just 4 points away from taking the opening set. There's a check. Salazar makes an impact off the bench. But Savouge will call for a block touch.
First challenge for this set. They have a very big advantage at the moment, but nothing to lose, of course, with this challenge.
Yeah, and for them, each point is still important for Savouge Spin Doctors, Coach Sidney Calderon.
It's nice how a lot of the players really loving the camera exposure.
Si Romero, no?
Siyempre, oh.
Didn't get to see action last game, playing a lot of minutes as a starter here. Was there a block touch? Close through the middle. So no block touch there.
Challenge is successful for SAVOUGE.
CHICHI will counter challenge though for a ball in, ball out.
Challenge, CHICHI. Ball in, ball out.
Well, let's see though.
They really need a point. We're talking about CHICHI. They are down and they've been struggling to get those points in. I think it's the struggle on offense, and then really on the side of SAVOUGE, yung kanilang blocking is really on point as we look at that replay. Clearly out for that last hit.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the frame, so that point clearly goes to SAVOUGE. Both teams, or SAVOUGE, keeping their challenge. And CHICHI losing one here in the latter part of the first set. Torres with the serve. The quick. That works for Del Pilar.
Substitution, CHICHI. 3 out, 6. Frias in.
Frias makes an appearance. Was a libero in their last game against La Salle. Senyoron will score another one as we expect a couple of changes for SAVOUGE. Imperial and Amil Bahar will check in the game. Imperial had 3 points against Signal. He started that game, this time coming off the bench.
It's Imperial.
That's out.
Good intention, but poor execution right there.
SAVOUGE now at set point. Have twice as many points as CHICHI right now. Chance for them to end the first frame. Amil Bahar doesn't get it.
Ooh.
It's another point coming from Salazar.
13-24.
Hanging on to set number 1.
Abrazado will make his first appearance. No whistle yet.
Na-excite.
Oh, a bit too eager to get that through was Salazar, who has a couple of points off the bench. Let's see what they do here. And Emil Bahar gets it through for the finisher. And set one goes to SAVOUGE Spin Doctors, who led by a dozen here in the first set. They wanted to go to him, and it worked well for the Spin Doctors, who are now up one set, 25-13. We'll give you the second set after this break. Back inside the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig for the continuation of the 2024 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference, the matchup between SAVOUGE and CHICHI. First set goes to the Spin Doctors in comfortable fashion, led by Romero with the early points, and they did not look back at all in that set one.
We know that coming into this game, the favorite team would be the Spin Doctors, and like what we have mentioned, I think they started off a bit slow. May mga errors, violations here and there, but later on we saw how they really capitalized on their offense, clearly dominated by the Spin Doctors for set number 1. 14 attack points as opposed to only 5 produced by CHICHI. Ito yung naging problema ng CHICHI. They really couldn't convert much points, no, playing that first set. Even blocking was on point for the Spin Doctors, and challenged as well itong reception or receives of CHICHI.
Yeah, and more than half of their points, talking about CHICHI, coming from the errors of SAVOUGE. So a lot of work to be done on the attacks. They only had 5 in that first set. Meanwhile, SAVOUGE just enjoying their time, getting that win. They were able to field in a number of players also off the bench who were able to score towards the end of that set one. And I think they will start off with the same guys who finished the first set, but Diwa will enter as well. So we are moments away from set number 2. It looks like SAVOUGE will field in some of their power hitters, Euro Austria and Shawi Caritativo, now in the game. And I think for Coach Sydney, you want the players to stay in condition, stay in rhythm, not miss a game, because they still have a lot of teams to play after this, and mabibigat din yung mga kalaban pa nila.
For the Spin Doctors, they had some break. 2 weeks yung walang laro. So, mahaba-haba. And even if they were training, of course, iba yung condition ng teams if you continue to play. And I guess that's why everybody is really getting their minutes in today's match.
Yeah, they beat Martelli Meats on the second game day of the tournament. Also beat VNS last October 22. First point goes to CHICHI once again. This is already their 6th game of the conference. And Narciso goes to Magpayo, and they convert.
I think Magpayo is saying, you know, a single block won't work.
You need more of
Yeah, at least a double block.
yeah. Austria, the captain for Savage Aesthetics, na naka-crop top pagpasok ng Phil Sports. No? I love that.
Na-inspire nga ako.
Yeah, ganda.
Oo, na-inspire ako.
Carry mo rin yun.
Oo, na-inspire ako dyan. Abangan.
That one is gonna be a point for Chichi. Two serving one. Oh, almost a point. Free ball given up for the Titans. And that is off the block.
That lefty scoring that point.
And Narciso goes to Magpayo again. 2 points of SAVOUGE in the set coming from Magpayo. That's out. Tried to avoid the blockers, but too wide for Miguel.
Also trying to go for that down the line, but you know, very little space to work with a target.
Tabla tayo at 3-all. Miguel flying with his offhand and scoring off the block. Challenging Caritativo, who's the player of the game for SAVOUGE against Signal. Good defense by Miguel. Salazar will hit and send it long.
I think they're also getting conscious about the blockers in front of them. But these are wasted points. Again, if you get the opportunity to score, have to make the most out of it.
Austria clarifying something with our first referee. Play continues. We are tied at 4 apiece. Lopez going for that first ball. Oh,
Ooh.
Salazar tried to be crafty with that.
Well, these are the errors that you don't want to see. Simple over ball.
That's long. Amil Bahar commits a service error, so we are still tied at 5-all. A closer start to a set for CHICHI. They want to go to Shawi. Caritativo will score off a drop.
Very high percentage conversion for Caritativo in their last game against Signal. Now you see the frustration on the faces and the body language on the side of CHICHI. Nagkakaroon sila ng chance, no, to set those plays up, but unfortunately ends up in an error.
Yeah. Back-to-back points now for the Spin Doctors. They keep the ball up. Chance here for the white shirts. Battle there. Play continues. Austria will hit. De La Cruz with a save. Del Pilar not ready for it. Tiwa faked the attack and went for the set.
But nobody, I think, understood kung para kanino ba yung set na yon. Nonetheless, They did get set number 1, a bit slower start here in set number 2 for the Spin Doctors. And I feel that here in this set, parang sinasabayan nila yung pace no,
Yeah.
ng CHICHI.
But we go to the first technical timeout. It's still SAVOUGE up by 2.
Welcome back to the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference 2024. Now, Dip and Ann dancing to Dancing Queen, and a lot of screams coming from the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors dugout before this match. Actually, this is exactly what head coach Sydney Calderon worked on before this game. Grabe talaga yung energy and demeanor nila. Now, of course, this is what they focused on. Head coach Sydney Calderon wanted to focus on not their skills, but mindset, confidence, and noise for the past 2 trainings of the team. Ang bilin ni Coach Sydney sa setters niya today is to pass the ball to the louder and more confident spiker. Kung tahimik siya, wag mo ipasa. And of course, she wants them to play well, not because may incentive sila, but of course, of their confidence. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Yana, for that report. Well, that's a good note on Coach Sydney, wanting the players to be more vocal. Hindi porket you're going up against a winless team, you will relax and just stay quiet.
And again, everything builds up to something. No? The way they play today will probably have an impact in the way they will play their next few games.
Yeah. We mentioned some of the teams that they haven't played yet. Nandiyan pa yung Crisscross, FEU, LaSalle. So more teams that are waiting to face the Spin Doctors. And Narciso tried to go for the attack, but it was short. Del Pilar will be the one to serve for CHICHI. Faced his younger brother, Nathan Del Pilar, last weekend, who plays for LaSalle. Austria.
Ooh.
Solid hit. Double-digit mark for SAVOUGE here in set 2. And Narciso now with 9 excellent sets. It's 10-7. Back row hit. Picked up. Emil Bahar sets up Austria. Back-to-back hits for Hero.
Two things there, no blocker, no defender. Perfect target for Austria. Malayo, the blockers were too far from him.
Lopez couldn't find the ball that ricocheted off of his head. That was enough airtime for them to get that ball, but naharangan din niya.
Oh, it seemed high, ah. And Salazar was actually going for it, but because it was too near the net, nag-alangan din.
5-point lead all of a sudden. This was just a 2-point game. And during the first technical timeout, free ball. CHICHI with a much needed point. So the score now is 8-12. There you go, Austria finding the mark.
So far, things going smoother on the side of the Spin Doctors.
13 serving 8. And a service ace for Hero Austria.
Really, the intention at the service line for the Spin Doctors. It's something that we've seen, even in set number 1. They really try to deliver strong serves. And they are successful in forcing these passing errors on the other side.
And a free ball. Kept alive. Good effort for CHICHI. Oh, they almost turn it into a point. Couple of gifts sent back. Si Austria parang gusto makakuha talaga ng points. So you can feel that he's putting in power on that serve.
Also on the side of CHICHI, you see the effort to avoid the blockers.
Yeah.
It's just that ang sikip ng dadaanan ng bola and it becomes extra challenging for them. More so, passing still an issue.
And Austria has found his target in Salazar as we reach the second technical timeout. It's 16-8 in favor of the Spin Doctors.
Maybe this time kay Sarah. She's smiling like she used to smile way back then. She used to way back when. Ayan.
Grabe, napaka-talented talaga ng mga CHICHI Titans natin here in our match. But more on the CHICHI Titans, Dip and Ann. Earlier, I was able to speak to head coach Robert Javier of CHICHI, and he talked about how their last game was almost perfect but not perfect for them, perfect for DLSU. Halos lahat daw ng puntos nila ay galing sa errors ng DLSU. And in the words of Coach Robert, he is unsure kung bakit ayaw nilang gumalaw, bakit kulang sila sa tiwala at saya sa team when it comes to the actual games. Pero sa training, okay naman daw. This is something that coach is still trying to solve at the moment. So hopefully, they will be able to come out successful in their next games to come. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Yana. Maybe this time, ma-apply nila yung mga nasa practice dito sa game na yun na sinasabi ni Coach. Dahil nga, iba rin kasi yung feel, as you mentioned, and we talked about how SAVOUGE, in the 2 weeks that they didn't play, they were training. But it's different when you're in-game, and which is why CHICHI probably trying to figure out. A lot of them haven't experienced playing the Spiker Surf, so it's a new environment.
And yun nga, everybody has to start from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It's just that it is extra challenging for them. Iniisip ko lang nung kumakanta, ano kaya ito makakatulong sa game niya o baka lalo siya. Sabi niya nakakahiya, but looks like they're enjoying that. Meanwhile, itong mga Spin Doctors naman na nag-e-enjoy in this match.
Every time Amil Bahar gets a touch, the players, the bench, excited to cheer him on. In a timeout called by the Titans.
Ngayon, after natin ma-block, tingnan natin sa tumatakbo yung Madalas nangyayari talaga, nasa likod lang natin yung bola eh. Pwede pa yan, pwede pa tumaas yan. Tamang pasa lang. Mag-usap kayong dalawa, ano ba yung dapat mo sa likod? Pag manalo na, kung recover yung bola.
Akin yan.
Sayo mo kasi isa pa. Go tayo go bawi. Sige! Titan! Tara.
Timeout called by CHICHI DHTSI, who are down by 9 points. This was a similar score line back in set 1. We ended that 25-13. Let's see how it will fare here. Salazar is denied. Clearly roofed on that play. It's now a 10-point advantage here in set 2. Good play.
That's exactly what they need. But again, you know, it comes from a good first ball. They've been challenged in that department. But if they do get a good pass, that is the result.
But Marinas will head to the bench after getting that point.
Serving
10-19. And Narciso goes quick to Diwa. From defense to offense, getting a block a while ago. This time, scores off of the quick. We're about to see the entry of Loisa Gamban. That trickles onto the side of CHICHI. Another point for Miguel, who was, I would say, been that lone bright spot for attacking para sa CHICHI DHTSI.
He is able to score off the blocks. But again, ito yung sinasabi na they don't need just one person, you know, getting those points. And also their defense needs, they need tighter floor defense.
And again, as mentioned, back in the first set by Ayana, Sorio, one of their key players, not in this game as he is fulfilling his student duties. Austria will get another point.
That is usually a challenge, no, for the teams. Minsan pag hindi kayo kumpleto, and someone has to fill in. You really have to double time, double the effort.
And he is their captain after all. Another timeout, final one here in set 2 for CHICHI.
Ganun lang yun eh. Sayang eh. Kasi ginanon mo lang yung ano. Inakal mo lang yung bola.
Kasi magkano ni Domo ng gano'n palabas.
Oh, tingin ha. Oh, pwede pa yan. Taas pa natin yung score. Oh.
Ilapit natin guys. Okay, go. Re-receive kami, ha?
Tayo.
O, penga lang no. Sa ipaluin nyo ng paluin.
Paluin ko lang cover ha.
Kahit na.
Go kaya baka.
Cover ha, kahit saan.
Timeout called by the Titans. Just wanting to bring this game closer. A more manageable lead as Caritativo will serve. And just as what they discussed in that huddle, De La Cruz said they will receive and it's up to them to attack. So Del Pilar was able to provide a point.
I think also sorting out the substitution here for CHICHI.
Serving 22. Imperial combination, but a violation. Lifting.
They can afford it at this point. Big lead still for the Spin Doctors.
The tip works for Diwa. Two points away are the Spin Doctors from taking a 2-set lead. Lopez waits for it. Denied. Met at the net by Magpayo, who puts SAVOUGE at set point.
Things have been easy and very predictable for the blockers of SAVOUGE.
That's in. And we end this set via that service ace for the Spin Doctors. Daniel Diwa getting that one. It drops right inside to give them a 2-set lead on a similar scoreline like set number 1, 25-13. 25-13. We'll give you the third set after this break. Back inside the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig for the continuation of the 2024 Spiker Surf Invitational Conference. 2 sets down, and it's the same thing for the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. The similar scoreline, 25-13. What did you see there for SAVOUGE in that set 2, Anne?
Oh, I think for SAVOUGE, they did replace some of their players, no, that trying to really utilize the rest of the lineup. But as we've mentioned, the intention remains. No, they want to make sure that the quality of play that they deliver would still be the same. They started off a bit slow, but picked up on the latter part of the second set. As we look at the stats, mas mababa yung kanilang attack production in set number 2. We're talking about the Spin Doctors, 11 only as opposed to 8 of CHICHI, but the blocking and the aces still on point. And we mentioned how this has been instrumental also. Kaya hirap na hirap itong CHICHI to convert into plays. But the errors, I think in set number 2, yung CHICHI, kailangan nilang tignan dahil marami silang naipamigay in set number 2.
Right. Meanwhile, Arena Plus, astig sa sports. So you mentioned the numbers, yung tatlong errors ng SAVOUGE, they were able to decrease their errors, but the attacks of CHICHI improving in that set 2. But you're right, you mentioned yung first part ng second set, they were keeping up with the pace of CHICHI, which is why they had a slower start compared to the first one. And then it was when Hero Austria went to the service line, I think that's when really they tried to pull away again. So more changes on the part of the Spin Doctors. Torres back in with Romero and Antonio, Senyoron rather, or Antonio rather. So Gamban stays with Marmeto and Narciso. Set 3 underway. So this time, SAVOUGE draws first blood. That was Kyle Torres with the emphatic hit.
Yeah, good start. Statement hit right there for Torres.
1-0. Make that 1-1 after the service error for Narciso. As you see, some of the Navy Sea Lions already in the venue for their match. They will see action later on against VNS. Gamban announces her entry.
And I like how we are seeing such powerful attacks to start set number 3.
Couple of aces already for Romero. And Narciso looks at the options. Hang time for Giles Torres.
Such a big advantage. Pwede pa ako maglakad sa ilalim habang nakahang siya. But you know, that allowed him to make that last-minute decision to drop that ball.
2-point lead. Bit low. And on bumps it to Antonio. De La Cruz with an easy pickup. Same for Romero. Play continues. Back and forth we go. Free ball. Antonio, this time, ends the rally. Four to 1 is the score. Roldan goes to the same play. This time they connect. That was Lim. Medyo mababa yun para sa kanya kanina, but the adjustment was made.
Also good that only one blocker went for that jump.
Lim had 3 points in the loss against LaSalle last Sunday. Antonio comes up short. It's back-to-back points for the Titans, who cut the lead down to 1. That's over and out.
These are the errors you'd want to avoid, especially for the Titans. They, you know, it is a tough task, right, to defeat a team like the Spin Doctors. But I think at the very least, you one step at a time, you make it a little bit more difficult for them.
Yeah.
So these errors na hindi forced, no, by
Right.
the opponent, these are really wasted points for them.
At least try to keep in step until they get to the last part of the set. Gamban, easy over. Roldan, mababa yun for Del Pilar.
That has been a challenge. No? They have an opportunity to set up quick plays in the middle, but the connection and usually first set, it's all about the timing, also the height of the set. But here, medyo alanganin. Look at that. Didn't even clear the net. So it'll be tough for Del Pilar to get that over.
Yeah, at matangkad yung kanyang middle blocker. So, kailangan talaga taasan pa. Roldan apologizing for that previous play. This is how you do it, says Diwa and Narciso. Roldan goes to Miguel. The bump to Antonio. Popped up by Salazar. De La Cruz will give up a free ball. Over-received. Nailipat sa kabila ang advantage. Joust. They transfer to the left wing. Kept alive by Torres. Gamban had to adjust.
He was underneath the ball.
Down it goes for Diwa. Now we go to the first technical timeout. SAVOUGE up by 4.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference 2024. Now, in the words of head coach Sidney Calderon, if the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors, every Every game starting now revolves on pure manifestation. Delulu daw is the silulu, yes. Because this promotes excitement rather than pressure or the feeling of complacency, which are the two feelings na binabantayan ni Coach Sydney because she sees those tendencies in every training. Usually, she ends every session with the saying that everyone has their moment to shine. Kailan ba yung sa atin? I-manifest na natin yung corona as early as now. Back to you guys.
Trululu yan, no? Ayana, tama yan. Your favorite NBA superstars on NBA TV Philippines now available on Signal Play. Download the Signal Play app and subscribe now on the App Store and Google Play to catch all the action this new NBA season. Dami kong kumbaga vocabulary na natututunan sa SAVOUGE na magagamit ko pa in their future games. They're up by 5 points. Even the setter joining in on the scoring. Nine serving 4. Oh, in a collision between De La Cruz. And I think that was between the two De La Cruzes. That was a hard hit.
Ball passed in between the two of them. Look at that.
Oh,
Ooh.
pumping heads on that service ace by Gamban. It looks like the libero De La Cruz is the one who's more hurt in that instance, but he stays on the court, just trying to rub it off, and notice that siya ang nasa screen, so okay na siya.
Oh, okay na siya. Just needed to shake it off a bit.
Yeah. Might feel that later on, though.
Oh, yeah, because head-to-head, imagine. Good pass.
Well, Diwa has been racking up the points.
Spin doctors have been going a lot for those quick plays. And it's worked for them today.
Served by Antonio. Another point coming from Yorong.
Not one of the tallest, but shows no fear in going up against that triple block.
He serves. They're down by 5. Romero again. Picked up by De La Cruz. The taller Diwa will get to that ball first and bring the lead back up to 6. I think everyone on the side of SAVOUGE have already seen action. Well, those at least that are active for today's game. That's out.
Point for Chichi. 7, serving 12. Ari Roldan, serving for Titans.
Torres. Nothing you could do about that.
It's almost always automatic. You know, coming from, you know, a good pass, you see that the first option that they have really would be going to the middle. They keep at it kasi hindi rin naman nasasalo pa, no, ng Titans.
Service ace for Narciso. Chichi will not challenge.
Substitution. Chichi. 18 out. 9.
Abrazado will replace Salazar. So Coach Roberto Javier Changing the lineup here in the third set, opting to go with a smaller lineup. That's out. Na-target pa si Coach Sidney Calderon.
Para masama siya sa aksyon.
8-point game. Savage Spin Doctors just 10 points away from winning this match. Kept alive. Gamban. That's last touch on Gamban before it sailed out. Abrazado heads to the service line. They're down by 7. Combination to Romero.
I think for Savage, this is the time for them to experiment, you know, on the plays that they'd want to do and deliver.
Just like that. The point that brings us to the second technical timeout.
So my favorite quote po is yung, it's going to be hard but it's not going to be impossible. Actually, I live by this quote kasi alam naman natin na sa every journey ng isang player, maraming ups and downs, maraming struggles na pagdadaanan. Pero lahat ng struggles na yun, it will mold you na para makita mo in the near future yung success na para sa'yo.
Probably pertaining to having a championship or getting to the finals for the Spin Doctors. It might be hard, but it's not impossible. Sabi ni Senyoron. Right now, they're looking good. On pace to win their 4th game of the conference and stay unblemished.
Substitution. CHICHI.
Another change for the Titans. Frias will replace Lim.
A very familiar substitution, sending him at the service line, possibly to also strengthen their back row defense.
Marmeto bumps it to Antonio. There's a check. Kyle Torres back at the service line. He has already won a championship here in the Spikers turf with Signal last open conference. Wants to add to that, this time with a different team. Players scrambling, Titans. And Narciso tosses to Antonio. It's another point for the Spin Doctors, who are enjoying that scramble play.
Exciting yung mga ganyan. And if it, of course, ends up to be your point.
Everybody happy.
Yep.
Balik tayo sa 18-9 scoreline. And the block for Diwa. No entry.
The Titans probably really feeling the absence of Sorio.
That's another point for the Spin Doctors. It looks like CHICHI will call for a timeout. Timeout called by the DHTSI Titans. They're down by 11 as Torres continues to serve. This time a point off the block for Miguel.
You did mention earlier Miguel, no, being the bright spot.
Multiple points off the blockers of SAVOUGE. Diwa comes up short, so that's back-to-back points for CHICHI. The toss to Antonio. It drops. Back to a 10-point lead. They're 4 points away from winning this match. Imperial and Senyoron will replace Narciso and Gamban respectively. (21) serving 11.
Ooh, poor first ball there for the Titans. Good effort from Yorong, but that one goes out.
Service error for Imperial.
The first two sets, actually, CHICHI only scored 13 points.
Yeah.
I think at this point now they have the opportunity to at least surpass those 13 points.
Right on cue, and as they get that point. The service from Miguel. Now at the 13-point mark with SAVOUGE still needing 3 points to win this one. But that one way short.
At this point, still the lack of consistency on the side of CHICHI.
This impending win for SAVOUGE, unless CHICHI goes on a massive comeback, this should do well for them. Right before they, as Antonio gets the service ace, may awa pa ng net. Now at match point, as I was about to say, they will face FEU after this task. So you want to feel good about your previous game. This is a good confidence booster for them as they face another undefeated team. But, ayan na nga, nalagpasan na yung 13-point mark.
So this, by far, would be the best for the Titans. But you know, you're right. A win is a win, but the quality of the game that they play, that is what really matters. And you want, if it, you know, you want the momentum to carry on with you. Ooh, what a sad way to end this match.
And that was a service error from number 12. That was Yorong. Coach's approach at center court to congratulate the winners. And that is Coach Sidney Calderon and the rest of the SAVOUGE Aesthetic Spin Doctors getting their 4th straight win of the Invitational Conference, still undefeated in the tournament. Meanwhile, CHICHI DHTSI goes down to 0-6. So we'll show the final scores in just a bit. We'll wrap this one up right after this.
Kirby? Kirby?
Welcome back to the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference 2024, and that concludes our first game for today's doubleheader. That was the CHICHI Titans going against the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors, and joining me now is our best player of the game, JC Labubu Narciso. Congratulations, JC.
Thank you, ma'am.
Grabe, winning in 3 sets yung SAVOUGE Spin Doctors in today's game. You have 17 excellent sets. Now, sinabi sa akin ni Coach Sydney, yes, diba? Ang sweet. I love it. Ang sweet talaga ng SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. Pero sabi ni Coach Sydney sa akin, yung bilin niya sa'yo na kailangan maingay yung spiker. Kailangan mo ipasa yung bola sa maingay na spiker. Kamusta naman yung strategy na yun in today's game?
Siguro effective naman kasi nag-overload talaga kami sa middle kahapon and nung Sunday. And yun, nagbunga naman yung overload namin sa middles.
Now, JC, alam ko na the past 2 trainings, yung mindset nyo talaga, yung naging working factor ninyo in your trainings, yung mindset ninyo. Pero can you talk to me about yung improvement ninyo skill-wise in the past games? Kamusta yung naging, siguro, training sessions ninyo skill-wise?
Siguro dinaan namin sa araw-araw na training kasi every game po namin inaral talaga namin yung kalaban. And usually, every game din po namin, maging unique po kami. Kasi para sabihin ng mga kalaban, unpredictable po yung team po namin.
Yes. Now, JC, last question. Of course, alam naman natin na meron pa kayong kailangan pa i-improve. Sa'yo, for you, ano sa tingin mo ang kailangan nyo pa i-improve as a team?
Siguro yung kumpiyansa po sa sarili namin, dapat maging buo pa kami. Para sa susunod namin na laban, this coming Sunday, yun talaga ang paghahanda na napod namin.
Alright, thank you so much, JC, and congratulations once again, our best player of the game, 17 excellent sets from JC Labubu Narciso of the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. Congratulations, JC. Back to you, Dip and Ann.
Thank you, Ayana. Di ko sure kung yun talaga yung nickname niya, but we'll go with it.
Oo nga.
The teammates were chanting it a while ago. Pero yun, yung confidence na sinasabi niya, they're looking forward to the matchup on Sunday. They had to get this out of the way. But they will want to continuously improve on the stuff that they saw. And I'm sure meron pa rin silang mga points for improvement even with this straight set win.
Yeah, and ito, makikita nila siguro, no, yung you're right, things to improve on. But this is a good base for them, no, to start off in preparation for their succeeding games. As we look at that third set statistics, it's an improved offense for the Spin Doctors. Balik sila ulit sa 14. Pero dito napigilan nila yung CHICHI, only 4 points converted. Blocking and aces very consistent throughout the 3 sets that they played. And siguro if there's one thing, no, na talagang kailangan nilang tingnan, yung giveaway points. Because looking at this, 9 giveaway points para sa Spin Doctors in set number 3.
Yun yung pinakamarami among all sets. But nonetheless, they get the 3-set win over CHICHI DHTSI. Talking about SAVOUGE Spin Doctors, who are undefeated 4-0 in the record. Up next, we have the VNS Griffins and the PGJC Navy Sea Lions going up against each other still here inside the Phil Sports Arena. We'll see you in the next one, so stay tuned. You're still watching the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference.